Well, hello everybody. I hope you can all hear me. Welcome along to tonight's meeting. Welcome to lockdown number 5, folks. But anyway, it is what it is. So I'd like to first of all declare the meeting open and welcome you all of those that are in attendance tonight. So obviously, look, at the time of writing my report that's in the magazine, we were in lockdown 4, and of course now we're in lockdown 5. So obviously it's very sad for everybody and makes it really tough. And tonight was to be the AGM, and for those of you who don't know, that's been postponed until next month, and I'll give you more information on that later on. So first of all, obviously for those of you that are planning holidays, or for those of you that are currently interstate, Aka, Rob, and a few other people, I wish you well on your return, if you do. Obviously, this COVID situation has caused such chaos for us because we were hanging out to get permission from the Mulgrave Country Club to be able to say that we can come back and meet at the premises again, and we only just got that and let everybody know, and then lo and behold, bang, we're out again. Look, not much we can do about that, but obviously the committee apologises for any inconvenience that's caused some people, and it's obviously caused tremendous turmoil, such as the 70th anniversary having to be cancelled as well, which obviously will hurt quite a number of people. Obviously, we live with the fact that Cruiser Carnival will be able to go ahead, and we sincerely hope that it is later in the year, but they're accepting registrations now, and there'll be more on that a little later. The 50th anniversary group have been working hard on putting that party together for the club, and obviously it's a little while off again. So let's hope that some sort of normality will embrace us by the time we start having those events. In the last magazine, you would have noticed the notice for the upcoming AGM, and at that time it was a little unclear as to the location. Certainly it had always been intended to have it electronically, but we weren't sure about the premises, and then later on you were advised by our weekend wrap that we would be meeting at the premises, and obviously subsequently now we've got the lockdown again, so that's postponed. What else? Obviously, in light of the circumstances going on at the moment, we've been in touch with Consumer Affairs for some advice as to how we can cope and deal with the situations that confront us, and that's what we continue to do so as we go along. Obviously, let's hope the restrictions are lifted throughout Australia soon to allow club events and members to traverse as usual, and hopefully take advantage of some of the warmer weather up north. But in the interim, I'd like to say thank you to the driver training team, the education team, the trip leaders, and the executive committee and the webmaster for their continued patience during this trying time. So stage 1 of the multi-purpose building is now finished and completed, and stage 2 is getting there, almost completed too. There's been a couple of photos up on the club website, on the Facebook page, for those of you who want to see, and it really looks really great. And so I'm sure Liz has got a big smile on her face about that, and I suppose many other people as well. It's just such a shame that its christening has been put off. I also want to move on to the fact that members were recently advised that there was to be a Toyota event at the property. And so just to let you know that obviously all members were advised that the Toyota Australia wished to hold an evaluation for the new 300 series Landcruiser. We could tell you there'd be an event, we couldn't tell you what it was about. And this was to take place next week. Sadly, this event has had to be cancelled due to COVID-19. The evaluation event would have utilised a number of our driver trainers and given them valuable insight into the new vehicle. The event would also have showcased our club to many Toyota dealers. It would also return to the club an amount exceeding $20,000. The event was to take place midweek to ensure minimal disruption or impact on members, and naturally the strictest of confidentiality was required. The club's relationship with Toyota Australia is as strong as ever, and both parties are disappointed that this event has had to be cancelled. So with that, we haven't got a guest speaker tonight, but we do have a video of the King Valley, easy like a Sunday morning. It was run by Brian and Rita Menedik and edited by Viv Gardner again. Obviously, the award goes to Viv Gardner for extensive contributions in video editing. I've seen some lately, they're fabulous. So with that, can we have the video? what a great video that is. And I'll tell you what, it truly indicates to me just how far Viv has come with their editing. That was as close to perfect as I could imagine. And the most amazing thing about that video was just the incredible camaraderie that you could see. And it was, you know, things such as convoy procedure and even the little slow peak, you know, about when they were doing that water crossing. It's pretty solid underneath, you know. That sort of surety and support in a team environment on a trip is just so important. And the King Valley is such a beautiful area of this world. Certainly, if it's an area you haven't been to, then get on a trip, hopefully, and go down there and do it. So easy like a Sunday morning, run by Brian and Rita Medisic. I hope I've got that right. But especially thanks to all of those participants who were in it. I tell you what, some of those pictures of the desserts look pretty good. And to Viv, again, fabulous. Such a great contribution. And so many of your videos been played at this at our club meetings, especially whilst we've been doing them online. And, you know, I just want to just say thanks, Viv. Big thanks. Okay, so we'll move on now to our subcommittee reports. Education. So over to you, Liz.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, we're here again on Zoom and not meeting together, but so be it. So it was great to have our first course run in the new building, the wheel bearing course. There are 11 participants. So thanks very much to Tony Swindon for running that. So I quite think there'll be another course he'll run for the bearings again next year. So that was fantastic. Now, those who don't like swearing, cover your ears right now. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Four-wheel drive maintenance course once again had to be cancelled. So that was a great shame. It was going to be the first course running in the new building with the PowerPoint presenting as well as the practical. So it was such a shame. Bill Black put in so much work beforehand to get a PowerPoint presentation up and running. So it was a great shame, and we're going to have to find another date for that. And all the participants that should have been there, you will be notified first when we get another date for that. Next thing will be the chainsaw course in September. That is full, and of course that was supposed to run in May, but due to the weather that had to be cancelled, so that will now run in September. After that, we have the tyre repair course in October that David and Duncan will be doing. It's been very popular in the past, so that will be coming up on the 10th, 11th and 12th of September, again in the new building. So hopefully the weather will be a little bit kinder too for the chainsaw course and other courses. It's a little bit cold at the new building still at the moment until we get the fireplace in there, but it'll happen eventually. Now, the big thing I really wanted to talk to you about tonight too was the grand opening of the new building. We've decided on Saturday the 13th of November. We're planning also to have a mega show and tell that day, or that weekend even, where members will show off their vehicles and their setups. It's a great way for new members to see how people have set their vehicles up and what they can learn from that. So we will be doing a call out to the members at some stage, anybody who would like to come and show their vehicles. And we'll probably have something like a sausage sizzle and, you know, a few other things as well. So we'll let you know more about that later on when we've had a chance to discuss it. Okay, a big thank you to all those who emailed me on Friday after I got back from Yark, because we had set up it all for the course and then we had to take it all down again. So I was feeling a bit down that we weren't able to run it. So thank you very much to all those people that emailed and said thank you to Bill and myself for all the work we put in, and they look forward to doing it eventually. It makes a big difference when people say thank you to people. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of emails recently that haven't been very pleasant, So those thank yous we had the other day made a big difference to the end of my day. So thank you very much for that. And just remember, members, remember to thank people. They put a lot of time and effort into these courses, and they do it freely because they love to do it and love to pass on the information to other members. So thank you for that. So I think that's about all for me, and I'll hand over to Ian. Good night.
Well, thank you, Liz. As usual, a very comprehensive report, and great to hear about the grand opening of our new bit training facility. And I'm sure it'll prove to be valuable in due course. And to pick up, Liz, on what you just said there, you know, I mean, just thank yous are very important, especially in organisations where we are all volunteers. We give of our time free. That's whether you be on the committee, a subcommittee, or assisting with a subcommittee, or running a club event, or a trip leader, or driver training, or any of those people. Not to leave off people that do the work up at Yark with the maintenance construction weekends. We are all volunteers, and you've got to remember to just say thank you, and remember that you know, the worldly saying that was always said to me, it was said to me when I was 21, I'll remember it to the day I die, and that is, you only get out what you put in. But the actual statement made to me was that service to humanity is the best work of life. So that's why I do this sort of thing. But all right, so thanks very much, Liz, and look, we live and look forward to a little bit more more events and getting a lot of that training back on to the straight and narrow again. So we'll move on now. I did forget one thing earlier, and I just wanted to say thank you to all those people that are joining us via Facebook as well as this webinar. So we'll move on now to driver training. And have we got Chris Treble tonight?
Yep, I'm on deck.
You are? Excellent. Yep, welcome, Chris.
Thanks.
Over to you.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone. Listen, short but sweet, and we had a good session last month up at June, although the weather wasn't really kind to us, but there was about 17 members attended. Everyone had a great time, slipping and sliding everywhere, but it was good. We've got about the same numbers to come up again, fingers crossed, not this weekend, but the weekend after. Similar numbers. There's a couple that have postponed. Look, I just want to put the feelers out there. There are a lot of people that are still to go through the driver awareness training program. If you know someone, or if you're online now, there are plenty of spots available for August, September, October, and November. So there's 4 months left for this year, and I think, like, for next month, for August, I think I've got 3 people booked in. So there's plenty of opportunity for those that have joined, provided that the COVID works. And I think a lot of people are cautious over that, and I don't blame them. But as far as I know, everyone is, if we get the go ahead for the end of this month, that hopefully we'll get the whole 17 in attendance. But pass the word around if people are looking for it. I mean, I've got to revert back to come back and send emails and chase people up. Whereas if they just contacted me via email on the driver awareness email address, I'm quite happy to put their name down. But look on the website, check out what the dates are, make sure they suit. And the ideal thing, naturally, you'll need to do your theory training for a start, and then we can book you onto the practical. So if we can get a few more through the gate in the last 4 months for this year, that would be really good and put us in good stead to catch up on the backlog from COVID in 2020. The most responsive people are naturally the brand new members that have just joined recently. So if they're keen to join in, I've chased people time and time again, but they just don't want to cooperate. So we'll have to come up with a strategy. We'll probably might need some assistance to put it out in the club magazine. But I'm just saying openly, there are plenty of spaces for the next 4 months coming. So if anyone is out there tonight that wants to come on the program, by all means, look at the website, get the dates that suit, and send me an email, and I'll book you in. More than happy to book you in and accommodate you whichever way we can. Other than that, I think, Ian, that's basically it for me for tonight. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Chris. Always good to hear that we got some space. So maybe Sandra and our webmaster, if we can just make a note down to perhaps put a note in Weekend Wrap just to say that if you need if you want to do the DA course, to let you know now and get in. But Chris, it's great to hear that you got 4 more courses before the end of the year. Touch wood a bit.
Touch wood.
Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
But it is always great that that your DA instructors are putting in their time and your time as well,
yep,
to make all this happen. And so on behalf of the club, thank you.
No worries.
And let's hope we can fill a few more of those spaces and clear some of that backlog as well. All right, thanks again, Chris. We'll move on now to MPB. Is there anything to report, Eric?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Now, the MPB, as Liz says, is now up and running. It's available for use. There are some items left to complete the job, and those items are being done by various volunteers at the moment, working on various weekends like the maintenance weekend and stuff like that. So the works, the heavy works is all over and done with. We're now finishing off tidying up. We've still got a heater to install. We've got to get the flue and everything for that organised, some window curtains, blinds, whatever, finish off some internal cladding and the like. But the storage equipment and the cupboards are all there, ready for the various user groups' use. Lighting is on, turn the generator on and the lights work. The 12-volt lighting Traco is completing, and I believe that'll be completed on the next maintenance weekend. Himself and a couple of others will be aiming, and the like have been giving him a hand, and get all that done. So in a nutshell, the building's ready for use. It's available for use. There's nothing stopping it from being used. We've just got some minor items left to complete the job. Now, getting back to the grand opening on November 13, it's really a celebration. It's not really so much a big ribbon cutting affair, although it can be if you wish. The plan is to have like a bit of a show and shine, and that doesn't necessarily mean polish your car up to factory condition and come and see who's got the best looking car and the loudest stereo. It's more about 4-wheel driving capability, so people can see how you set your vehicles up and the like, and how efficient the use of your storage capability is and that sort of thing. So it's a bit of a point score exercise, a little bit of a prize at the end. And of course, the committee has agreed to fund a small barbecue type arrangement at the end, so we can kick our heels up and have a bit of a laugh and a giggle afterwards. That's something we really want to do, and we'll get some of the people, members involved in setting up the cooking arrangements and so forth. But by and large, the place is ready. If you want to go up to Yark and you feel like rolling your swag out or your camp stretcher or whatever out underneath the roof there, you're perfectly welcome to do that. Sit there and look at the scenery down Garvey's Gully and the like. Now, one thing is the lights are all working. And I had a bit of a yarn with Tony Bryant. He's up there laughing on the screen. The weekend last, where the wheel bearing training went on, they finished the training off using torches. And when I said to Tony, "You realise that we've got lights there, you only had to turn the generator on," he said, "Yeah, well, we knew that, but we thought it better to use torches or whatever." So if you're in the middle of the bush, it might be an opportune way of learning how to find things when you lose your nuts and bolts down in the grass. But anyway, I reckon that's worthy of a Hook Award to Tony Swindon and Tony Bryant. It's a joint award. They live in the same town, so I reckon we should take it down there and deliver it to them. Now, I'm sure I've got the support of many others in that respect. So thank you all. That's my bit, Ian. Take down to you,
Thanks.
mate.
Thanks very much, Eric. So, yeah, look, I'm not sure about the Hook Award, folks, because we can't even go past 5K radius at the moment, folks. So, unless
go where we like.
Unless we take up an Uber system of delivery. All right, so we'll move on, folks. So we're now going to talk about the Landcruiser 70th anniversary event or non-event, or what's going to happen. So Obviously, John, I'll bet you're very disappointed, but over to you. Let's just get your feedback.
Yeah, to start with, I'd actually like to nominate, to endorse Eric's nomination. Seeing as I actually did phone Tony Bright and told him the generator box was open, and could he lock it before he goes home? So that why they didn't use it, I will never know. And while we're doing a little bit of a start, I'd like to start up a big thanks for Viv. I approached Viv during the month to produce a video. Ian was giving Viv a lot of praise for how great her videos are. And I'd like to compliment Viv on how compliant and generous she's been with her time to produce a video for this 70th anniversary, which was going to be Zoom, but it's now going to be only on Facebook. And also, I'd like to thank David McAllister, who at the last minute jumped in on a meeting last night to help me out with some of the technical stuff. Now, he tells me it's simple. I think it's complicated, but that's great. I've got someone who feels confident that they know what they're talking about. So to give you an overview now, we're talking about the 1st of August at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. There will be a video, There will be a Facebook presentation from all the states, including across to Japan, where we, as I understand it, we're going to be talking to the chief engineer in Japan about what's happening with Toyotas, and some other stuff they're implying that we will get as well. And each state will do a 10 to 15 or 12 minutes video of their state and the advantage of going to their state. So the promo for each state, plus a 2 to 2.5 minute presentation by the president or a representative of each state to introduce their state. So it should be a great thing. It will go on approximately about an hour and a half. It depends on how much content we get in from each state. Victoria, I say, has produced, or Viv has produced 12 minutes for us. Thank you, Viv. And then with our 2.5 minutes, that brings us up to 14.5 minutes, which is our bit. Some of the other states are suggesting they'll produce less, but then time we allow for time for the international stuff, then we're going to be up to the hour and a half. So it'll be 4 to 5:30. We'll be talking about this sort of time. So more information will be put out as it comes to hand, but that's all I've got for you at the moment, I think. Thank you.
So, John, it's great to hear that they've been able to come up with a solution to sort of work around what is obviously a horrible time, really, isn't it? So, what's the? Will this be open to all members to watch, or will we be able to stream it or do something like that?
Yeah, it'll be on Facebook for all the members. We have a choice of whether we keep it just internal to club members only, or whether we go to the outside Facebook page. It seems that some of the other states are more than happy to go to the outside Facebook page, which also, I suppose, gives a bit of a plug for our club as well on the way through. So that's what we're really looking at, I suppose. It is for a promo for Toyota more than anything else, in the sense that it's us as clubs showing some respect and thanks to Toyota for producing bloody fantastic cars, and also a chance for each state to promote themselves.
I was actually reading an article last night that says that the Toyota Landcruiser is the most reliable car ever built. Now, ever is a big word there, but it was a US study, so I'm not sure that's worldwide, but anyway.
I think you should talk to people who used to drive Land Rovers.
Yeah, well, that's right. No, that's why that's why I said the word ever. It's very strong there. So anyway, John, look, John, one question. Obviously, they had some physical components of some trips away and those sorts of things as part of the 70th anniversary planning. Do you think that might ever be done later on again in some fashion?
As far as we are concerned, and all the other states are concerned, apart from South Australia, it's died in the water. South Australia will be running a tally that says something later on. Not sure of the date on that. Doing something similar going into Broken Hill. Pretty much all the states agreed that they defer the celebration of the 70 years of Toyotas in Australia to next year, which is when we're all going to Perth for the the West Australian Gathering, and that's where we will actually formally celebrate 70 years of Toyota, or 71 years at that stage of Toyota in Australia.
Yeah, look, it'd be nice if they just sort of postponed these things rather than cancelled. But, you know, obviously 70th anniversary only happens once in a lifetime, doesn't it? So
well, that's right. And the logistics of dealing with the resort and the food and that sort of stuff, unless we get 100% commitment from all the states, it wasn't a going concern.
It's a monumental task. And look, thanks, John, for all your involvement in that. It's great to see that at least something will happen and that it'll be available for everybody to see. So that's just the detail again is the 1st of August. And I assume we'll provide more details on that weekend wrap, etc. to people.
Yeah, it's up on Facebook now, and I'll send, as I get some firmed up stuff, I'll send stuff to the weekend wrap to get it publicised better. So it was all a little bit up in the air until last night. It wasn't until last night we actually got a timing for when it was going to come be produced on. So it's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and all the other states the West are going to hold a barbecue for lunch. So you know, they've got a different sort of way of looking at it. Okay. Of course, they haven't got COVID over there either.
No,
So,
we'll have a virtual sausage sizzle.
That's right.
All right. Well, thanks, John, and we'll move on.
Okay.
All right. So next item on the agenda is Geelong. Alison, I saw you there before, so I assume you're around. Over to you for a Geelong report.
Good evening, everybody. We've had, well, apologies first. I didn't get the Geelong report into the magazine. Mum was in hospital and I just plain old forgot. But we've had a pretty busy year in between COVID lockdowns. We've been very active. We've had, the barbecue in the Yuyangs in January. We've had a great day on the beach with Ralph's boat tours. And we had the weekend at Dando's in March, which is a great idea. And I'd love to see the club do more of those. We did the camp host, and it's a great static camp and you get paid for it. So it'd be really good to see the club do some more of those, and you meet some lovely people as well. We've put off our multi-drive as a guest speaker. They'll come in September. They're expecting a baby in August. So it was a little bit close to the baby's due date to our guest speaker. So they're going to be really interesting. If anyone would like to come, they're most welcome to come along in September. So we've had some really good guest speakers too. We've had ARB and AutoFix, made our meetings a little bit interesting. We did have a quiet meeting last month with lots of apologies, lots of people who weren't well or are away on holidays. We've had some great evenings out as well. We had a really nice Indian last month, and we also had a really good impromptu fishing trip where I think Ralph gets the Hook Award for that because they weren't redfin, they were actually rainbow trout. But we caught a few and had a great weekend there. I didn't take any home, but they were not too small, but they weren't really huge either because the pond had been stocked with 800 and they were farmed fish, so we could take them home no matter what the size. So, we have some great impromptu things like that happening. So keep an eye on Facebook and also on the website, and come and join us, as it's we always have fun. Thanks, Ian.
Thanks, Alison. And I have to say, when I saw the photo and I saw the word redfin, I went, nah, that's a trout, I'm sure. So I'm glad you clarified that. So we'll move on now to the Yak management update, and I would like to welcome aboard Brian. Hello, Brian.
Good evening, everyone. Well, no one likes the situation that we're in, but this is possibly the new norm, so we've got to get used to it. Last month, we had a pretty good maintenance weekend. We were lucky to sort of get in between the nasty weekends with our weekend. Got a lot of stuff done, and this month, which is this weekend coming up, obviously cancelled. So we now look forward to August and getting back into things. So I've had to make a couple of phone calls and cancel 2 or 3 things that were organised. So reorganise them for August, hopefully. And to the 10 or 12 people that have already booked in for the weekend, I thank you for that. And stay home.
So thank you, Brian. So anyway, we'll move on to social. Sandra, have you got anything you want to talk about in relation to that?
Yes, not very much though, I'm afraid. If you want to attend the Japanese restaurant, Okami's, you can put your name down and go on the wait list in case somebody might be cancelling or whatever. Hopefully we can meet in September and have a beautiful meal. Their food is absolutely outstanding. That's on behalf of Angela. Just very quickly, I'll go straight into special events. As I said to you before, the National 44 show is now going to be at the end of November. And that's about it from me tonight. So short and sweet and no complaints. Thank you.
Yeah, and I will support that. Their food is really good. So it's definitely worthwhile being part of it and being there. So thank you, Sandra. All
Thanks,
right,
Ian.
well, thank you, Sandra. No problems. So with that, we're going to move on to our trip convener. Sadly, I suppose it's very much in the same boat as education, isn't it? So over to you, Viv, and you're muted, by the way.
No worries, yep. No, we haven't had any good news in the trips, really. Unfortunately, our trip that Tony and Barb were running to the Simpson Desert's been cancelled. The only good thing is I've got 2 freezers full of already prepared food, so I can eat it during lockdown, or weekend, not just me. There is some trips still listed on the website, so if you want to come along, just go on there and put your name down. And also we'll be running a trip leader course in September. And that's about it. And hopefully we can get out of this lockdown and get going. Baz has got the caravan ready, so he reckons as soon as we can go anywhere, he's hooking up and we're going. So you won't see us for dust, but I'm not holding my breath. And that's all from me.
Yeah, well, I saw our neighbours the other day hitching up their caravan, and I said, gee, that's wishful thinking. And he said, no, it's going back to the storage yard. So, another video now. It's the Tom Grogan Easter trip that was run by Rob and Alison Duff. But this one was edited by Steve McAdam. So with that, we'll play the video. Tom Grogan Easter trip run by Rob and Alison Duff.
Good morning, everybody. This is our first morning. Guys, give us a wave. Say hello.
Okay, start of our Easter break trip. We're heading up to Omeo for a start, and then we're going to go and visit a few tracks along the way to our final destination today, which is going to be Native Dog Flats.
And then we're coming back down into here. I've done Teapot Creek before, which is a lovely little track, but I think it's all going to be burnt out quite badly. So we've got that's super busy. We've got some other spots over there, Cobblers or Ram's Horn. In this area here, we could actually camp on the top of that.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
of course.
So then it was sort of a bit of cheers.
Back is coming. What's up?
G'day.
You're one of the Lehman brothers, you are, if you're filming. Don't you dare, don't. Here we go. My feet are already wet, so I'm not worried. Thank you.
How are you, Mr. Steve? You're wet.
Very.
Did you do some toe tapping in the hurry?
Some forced toe tapping.
Good morning.
Good morning. Don't lose another GoPro. Don't lose another GoPro.
Stop that.
Well, I think that clarified what happened to the GoPro. I was sitting there watching it going, oh my goodness, don't tell me there's one sitting out there in the bush. I think those last pictures were it. So at least I hope they were it. But otherwise, a fabulous video again, put together of the Tom Grogan area. Obviously, Rob and Alison Duff run a lot of trips in the club, and thank you to them for doing that. And to Steve McAdam for taking the time to put that together. Well done, and really appreciate it. So we'll move on now to Webmaster. Laurie, are you with us tonight? Yes, you are. Over to you.
Yes, can you hear me from sunny Cairns?
Yes, we can.
Good. I won't rub it in, but it's 24 degrees and the nice cool breeze is coming through the door. Sorry about that.
You're bouncing around again.
Oh, sorry. That's because the laptop's sitting on my knees and I bounce up and down. My apologies. Okay. Not a lot to report this month, but I just want to say to David McAllister, who's running the show behind the scenes as host tonight, well done, David. You've been handling it really well. You've sorted out a slight issue with the audio and that we can't run Facebook at the same time as Zoom on the same PC. We thought it might terminate the streaming, but it doesn't. So David successfully turned off Facebook on his own PC, and we're not getting any audio issues. And looking on Facebook, it's coming across well. Get rid of that. Yeah, the quality is still a little bit average. It's good on Facebook. It's a little bit average on the desktop. But anyway, we're working on that. The website has finally been updated. I've removed a few old trips, and everything should be refreshed again. Brian Stewart asked a good question, Brian. What's the difference between a trip, a social, and activities on the website? I know the committee's working on that, just to clarify it. So I won't step on their toes. I'll let them finish their little summary of that and come back a later day as to. So, because I think it's a good point. How do we define what a trip is, what a social event is, what is just an activity or event? And I'll leave that up to them. That's about all from me from sunny Cairns at 24 degrees at the moment.
Thanks again, Laurie, for your support, even though you're holidaying in the warmth. Did he say 23 degrees? Sounds very pleasant anyway, nonetheless.
24 degrees in Cairns, yes.
Very, very pleasant. And yes, in Cairns, it's either very good, no humidity, or it's very high humidity. It doesn't matter what you do, it's still terrible. So anyway, good luck. Have a good trip. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is Cruisacana. Now, I think Forge is not doing it tonight. I think I heard somewhere that Rob was doing it. So am I wrong?
Yep.
Yep. Over to you, Rob.
Right, just very quickly, yeah, at this stage, Cruisacana is proceeding. You know, obviously it's a variable thing, but never mind. Just check with my notes here. We currently have 8 entries, 5 of which are club members, so that's brilliant. So already at this stage, we've got 5. Just about to open the raffle, and we've got some great raffle prizes again. A ARB fridge is our main prize again, so get your tickets when they come available, and I think that should do very well. The other thing to note, I guess, is that I'll recognise Tony Swindon's work. He's actually almost single-handedly relocated the balance beam just below, on the hill below the bus stop, sort of just sort of near where the old Tyre Road used to be. So, and those who were at Cruisacana a couple of years ago, it's where we ran the winch challenge. So just means it's a bit closer and easier to get at for spectators. So looking forward to that. I think that's all I have on Cruisacana, and I think we've now got a video of the 2018 event.
I think the blinker's going to be the what? No? Yeah, the blinker probably.
It might be the blinker.
Have you got a reversing camera, Richard?
Communications sponsor, Motorola Solutions.
John, you look like a lonely figure there. What are you doing? Come.
Yeah, plenty of chance to spot the wildlife and enjoy.
So this is Stumpy in front of where I am now. She's just got two reflective eyes.
I like the way you did that.
I think you should have put a bit more water in there, Megan. He's finding this too easy.
I didn't put water in, but he's being very steady hands.
What happened to Boss Billet?
Don't you dare.
Slow down, man!
Going great, Mike. There's only one speed here. Told you she wouldn't go back. Oh, she is going to traction. Far enough, that's far enough. Now go for it. No, run it. That's it. Run it.
Videotape of you, Laurie. Oh, sorry. Videotape me. We have a method. We're just going to send it. So step back. It's the only way we're getting this little bugger through.
There you go.
Oh, get them all off.
So how'd you go, Steve?
Lovely.
Lovely? What happened on the first run? Just a bit of a warm-up, was it?
Too
slow. You certainly won't slow through here.
No.
You've got Bog River going right up the hill here.
Good.
Good. All right. Well done.
Thank you.
Nothing gonna touch it.
Left hand down. Hit the other left. The other left.
So Brian, you looking forward to doing Cruisacana again?
Love Cruisacana.
Do you?
Best event of the year.
Okay. Whoa, that's one way through.
All right, so it's not really a blind navigation, but it's called a blind navigation.
Happy days. 0-0.
Should be all good.
Whoops. The reigning champion, Heath, what are we looking for this year?
I'll see how we go. I don't embarrass myself, so.
As I say, we need a Toyota to go up, but not all the other cars.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. All right. Bit slippy that year, Ian. Looked really good.
It sure was, but one thing I will say, Rob, is when you watch a video like that, you get to see what Cruisacana is really all about. And also you get to see what the club is all about. It's all of us participating, whether it be from the catering to the marshalling, to participation in the events, the work beforehand, the setups, the obtaining sponsorship and the involvement and the value that we put to our sponsors and people that support us. It's just so much work goes into it. And You know, we heard one of the participants there say, you know, the best event of the year. And it really is, because for our club, it's the most wonderful exposure and the greatest opportunity for people to participate in what really can only be classified as a really safe four-wheel drive environment, and a supportive one with a little bit of a twist and a difference. You know, years ago when I first joined the club 30 odd years, well, no, not that long ago, 20 years ago, you know, people used to say it was the thinking person's event, and it really is. It's really all about thinking about it and getting through it. And yes, it certainly was slippery that year, Rob, but that contributes to the excitement of it too. So, and it really is just amazing, the camaraderie, and whether it be the before, the after, you know, all of that. And the photos just show how the club comes together as a group of volunteers, all putting in their hard work to help one another and support one another and provide that social atmosphere that we all, I guess we're all craving right now, aren't we? So thanks again for giving the report, Rob, and we'll move on. Obviously a lot of great memories there, and let's hope for better later this year. So with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who made tonight again happen. These things just doesn't happen. The amount of work that goes on behind the scenes is incredible, and also considering we sort of morphed from general meeting AGM to back to a general meeting and having to throw some content in to liven it up, etc. I'm delighted that we've got through to this point, and hopefully you've enjoyed the meeting, and hopefully I've done my job. So thank you all, good night, and all the best with COVID lockdown 5. So good night.